All right, what we want is not what Rick Scott and Mitch McConnell and the rest of the spineless establishment wants. The overhaul needs to start now, folks, and it is up to all of us. Well, someone who has been fighting the anti-establishment for a long time is Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida. He is now one of the few in Congress keeping the America First agenda alive. Matt Gaetz joins me now. Matt, I take it you saw some of the 13 today. What do you say to these Republicans?
I can feel your blood pressure rising, Grant, and I'm right there with you. We had the Democrats on the ropes. We had the ability to make Joe Biden a lame duck president, to stop his agenda in its tracks. Nancy Pelosi's schism with the squad created a rare moment of opportunity where we could have used our power in the minority to fight for our people, to battle their dislikes, to stop this march to socialism. Now, behind closed doors, this is what Republican leaders are telling the rest of us when we complain. They say, well, gosh, some of these members that voted for these bills, they're retiring and they want to be lobbyists in the future. And so we don't have as much influence over them as the lobbyists and the special interest political action committees. I'm the only Republican in Congress who doesn't take any money from any lobbyists or political action committees. But here's the fallacy with that. A vast majority of the Republicans who voted for the Joe Biden agenda hold positions of leadership in our party. They are either ranking Republican leads on either full committees or subcommittees. And so the question for Leader McCarthy and the rest of our conference really is whether or not we will allow people to be designated as Republican leaders on major committees and subcommittees while they fight for the Joe Biden agenda and against the America First agenda. And if that isn't cleaned up, if that isn't corrected, then the current Republican minority you see in the House might not be ready to earn the majority because we haven't shown people that we value their vote, that we'll fight for them, and we will push back against this dangerous agenda.
Congressman, what you just said in the beginning, all of it was spot on, but what you just said is the reason why I think President Trump was elected, why President Trump is still the leader of this party, that you have people in leadership saying they're going to retire and they want to be lobbyists. That is what I've said. They put self-interest above national interest. I don't want any of those people leading us right now.
Well, you just watch, especially on the Acela corridor, you've got people who want to roll right out of Congress and into big $400,000, $500,000 a year jobs as lobbyists. And so they back the lobbyist bill. But we don't have to tolerate that. You see, Kevin McCarthy isn't the cause of these problems. He's the symptom, because we have Republicans willing to say, oh, shucks, we'll always lose a few. Nancy Pelosi is in the majority, and she lost less than half the votes that we lost in the minority. And I think right away, John Katko should be removed as the Republican lead on the Homeland Security Committee, and everyone else who voted for these bills. Grant, I think there were 5 key votes in the 115th Congress. Impeachment, the January 6th committee, removing Marjorie Taylor Greene from committees, the Steve Bannon sanction, and this infrastructure bill. And we have Republicans who voted against us on all 5. Those votes define what we believe and how we fight. And you know what? We're not tired of winning right now because we're not doing a whole lot of winning, and we could have won for our people this last week. That's why, frankly, the morale in the Republican conference is very low right now, and we need backup. We need those candidates out there, those veterans, those moms and dads that are running for Congress to come and help us fight against an establishment that controls elements of both parties.
They are out there, and they are running. Now it's up to us, all of us at home, to support them. Congressman Matt Gaetz, you just helped me, I hope, get the blood boiling of every single person watching this program, because what happened in Washington from Friday night, it's been happening for a while, but Friday night was really, if there wasn't a wake-up call, I don't know what is. Congressman Matt Gaetz, as always, thank you for fighting up there.
Well,
go
one quick
ahead.
Point. If they try to kick Jim Jordan out of the House of Representatives, maybe he'll have no choice but to run for the United States Senate. The day Jim Jordan announced for the United States Senate, he would be the leading Republican in that race, and probably most of the Republicans would drop out. So watch what you wish for, Republican senators. He may be in the upper house before you know it.
Isn't that the truth? And if not, I still like my idea, and you talked about it on your podcast about him becoming Speaker of the House. That would be a win for Republicans everywhere. Matt Gaetz, as always, thank you, my friend, for coming on.
Thank you, Grant.